It's no secret at all that when it comes to gaming, Nintendo was one of the absolute GOATs. With their 40 plus years of releasing gaming consoles, Nintendo has released some of the most iconic, beloved, and well-known consoles of all time. They've released iconic consoles such as the Nintendo 64, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Wii, the Nintendo DS, you name it. And back in 2017, Nintendo dropped one of its most successful gaming consoles, the Nintendo Switch, selling over 152 million units and being the third best-selling console of all time. It's no secret that the Nintendo Switch is loved by so many people. There were so many amazing games that came out for Nintendo Switch, very iconic games as well. Recently, Nintendo dropped a trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2, which if you couldn't tell is a successor to the Nintendo Switch. With the Nintendo Switch's cycle coming to an end, what better time than now than to give it some love? In this video, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite Nintendo Switch games of all time. Now, my top 10 favorite Switch games may either surprise you or not surprise you. And this is going to be my opinion, so if you have a problem with other people's opinions, here's my message to you.
What's that? I think it's the sound of no one caring.
Now, before we get into the top 10, let's get the honorable mentions out the way. And with that done, let's get into number 10. Kicking off this top 10 is a game that I feel is very underrated, the game being Trials of Mana. Now for those who don't know, Trials of Mana is actually a remake. Trials of Mana was a Japanese exclusive game that came out in 1995 for the Super Famicom. Now you may be wondering, why do I like this game so much? First of all, it has a lot of replayability to it. There are 6 playable characters in this game, and you're given a choice to pick 3 characters. Every character is different in the fact that they each have their own unique gameplay style, and also each character combination offers different scenarios and cutscenes, which can make each playthrough of this game a unique experience. Now the characters go as follows. You got Durian, you got Angela, who's probably the most broken character in this game, my favorite character Kevin, you got Charlotte, Hawkeye, or Rice, I don't know how to pronounce her name. And if you play the original Trials of Mana or at least watch gameplay of it, you can tell Square Enix really put their all into this remake. Being that Trials of Mana was initially a 2D game, it transitioned really well into 3D. And the graphics for this game are really impressive, and it has an amazing art style to it. The moves look very flashy and over the top, and I absolutely love it. And every character is memorable and has their own unique personality. Another thing that gives this game its replayability is the fact that every character starts out with a class, and then later on in the story you can upgrade to another class. If you're looking for a fun action RPG, I recommend this game. And if you play the original Trials of Mana, then I'm pretty sure you'll like the remake. And with that said, let's get on to number 9. Taking number 9 is Dragon Quest XI. Now would y'all believe me if I said this is the first mainline Dragon Quest game I ever played? Prior to playing this game, the only Dragon Quest games I played were Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. Dragon Quest is one of those game series that I've always wanted to get into, and the reason why I've always wanted to get into the series is because of the art style. Those who somehow don't know, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z, has designed the characters for the Dragon Quest games. And growing up, the Dragon Ball series was a huge part of my life and an influential part of my childhood. Now this version of Dragon Quest XI is exclusive to the Switch. Dragon Quest XI originally came out in 2017, and this version, Dragon Quest XI-S, came out in 2019. 11S introduced quality of life changes, graphical enhancements, and the new 2D mode, which is a callback to the older Dragon Quest games from the 80s and 90s. Gameplay wise, it's your standard turn-based RPG full of likable and memorable characters, with my personal favorite character being Eric, who's extremely broken if you know how to use him properly. Every character has various weapons and classes that they can use, which makes each character feel unique, and you can play through the game however you please. And one thing I like about this game is that it knows when and when not to be serious. There's a lot of funny and comedic moments within this game, but this game does have its fair share of dark moments, and for a game that tends to have a lot of silly moments, the characters are very developed, well written and fleshed out. For example, the character Serena, someone who starts off very quiet and reserved and is a bit of an airhead. She eventually evolves into someone who's confident, reliable, and stands on business. And then you got my guy Hendrik, who has an amazing redemption arc. Someone who starts off as your enemy and becomes your ally and wants to right his wrongs. And not to mention too, this game has some amazing world building. You'll be visiting locations such as Angri-La, Hato, Sniffelheim, and Arborea, and many more. I can confidently say that this is one of the best JRPGs I've ever played, and if you never played Dragon Quest before, this is a great game to start with. I can go on for hours and talk about why I like Dragon Quest XI so much. I can't recommend this game enough. Not to mention too, the game is pretty long, so you're definitely going to be getting your money's worth. Now that this part is done, let's go on to number 8. Taking the number 8 spot is Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Now growing up, when I was playing Kirby games, they looked like this, and this, and this. Though Kirby is typically a 2D side-scroller, even though some games have 3D graphics, this right here is considered to be Kirby's first true jump into 3D, and Kirby transitioned greatly into 3D. Though Kirby may be in somewhat of a new dimension, it still has the same Kirby charm and appeal that it's always had. It follows the typical Kirby fashion. You start off all happy and joyful, and then next thing you know, at the end of the game, you're fighting an eldritch, reality, supernatural, godlike being. Yeah, this is the final boss of the game right here. One thing the Kirby series has been known for is his copy abilities, which are various powers Kirby can get by absorbing certain enemies, and the copy abilities in this game go as follows. You got the classics such as Sword, Cutter, Fire, Crash, Hammer, Bomb, Tornado, Sleep, Needle, and Ice, alongside the new abilities in this game, that being Drill, Ranger. Yeah, Kirby's got a gun in this game. Though some people may notice that there aren't a lot of copy abilities in this game, and this game is missing a lot of classic copy abilities, such as Fighter, Stone, Spark, Wheel. This game does make up for it with the fact that you can evolve copy abilities in this game. Take the Ranger copy ability for example. You can upgrade it to the Space Ranger copy ability where it does more damage and it has a charge shot to it. And then this game introduces mouthful mode where instead of swallowing something that Kirby inhales, he just stretches his body over it. Pause on that. What you're seeing on screen is the car mouthful mode ability, which, yeah, Kirby's a car, I guess. I'm also a really big fan of the art style for this game. Kirby games have really came a long way in terms of graphics, and don't even get me started on the music. If you never played a Kirby game before, you can definitely start with this one. Kirby games are known for being easy and forgiving, and this game is no different. Now that this section is done, let's move on to number 7. Number 7 goes to another game I feel is very underrated, that game being Astral Chain. For one, it's made by Platinum Games, the same company that made games such as Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and Nier Automata, so that's already a good sign as is. Not to mention too, the sci-fi aesthetic that this game has going on, absolutely beautiful. And as for the music, do I really need to say more? Platinum Games never misses when it comes to music in their video games. This game is a hack and slash detective game, which you think wouldn't work well, but Platinum Games manages to make it work. And the story goes as follows. Within the world of Astral Chain, there's a dimension called the Astral Plane, and in it are creatures called chimeras. The Astral Plane is made up of cube crystallized corruption, and chimeras come from the Astral Plane and invade the human world. And you play as a detective whose canon name is Akira Howard, and you take control of a submissive chimera called a Legion, which is linked to you by a, well, Astral Chain. Gameplay wise, you take control of both Akira and any Legion of your choosing. Yes, there are 5 Legions you can choose from in this game. First, you got the Sword Legion, who's all about swift, fast sword-based attacks that can target enemy weaknesses and stun enemies. The Arrow Legion, which focuses on range-based attacks. You got the Axe Legion, which trades speed for pure damage. The Beast Legion, which is all about speed and mobility, and you can even ride it like a mount. And my favorite, the Arm Legion, which it just punches things. That's really it. It reminds me of Star Platinum from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And within this game, you'll be going between the human world and the astral plane. Compared to other games made by Platinum Games, the gameplay for Astral Chain is a bit more on the slow and methodical side. You're encouraged to use different legions for different situations. With the number 7 spot done, let's move on to number 6. Taking the number 6 spot is Bayonetta 2. At this point, I'm pretty sure y'all could tell Platinum Games is one of my favorite game developers. And can you really blame me? They make some amazing games and Bayonetta 2 is no different. Bayonetta 2 does everything a sequel is supposed to do. It builds upon the foundation that the first game set, improves it, and makes it even better without straying too far from the prequel. The Bayonetta series is known for its blatant sex appeal, fast-paced, high-action gameplay, sprinkled with a lot of inspiration from Dante's Inferno. Bayonetta is one of those games that I play strictly for gameplay and could not care any less about the story. Bayonetta 1 was already a great game as is, and they somehow took that and made an even better game with Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta is known for using numerous weapons and summoning demons. And the combat in this game is damn near flawless. There are so many combos you could do in this game. Not to mention too, I'm a huge fan of the art style and character designs for this game. Out of all 3 Bayonetta games, Bayonetta 2 has my favorite design for Bayonetta, and words cannot describe how amazing the gameplay is for this game. If you're looking for a fast, fun, action-based hack and slash game, I highly recommend the Bayonetta series. One of the most satisfying things about this game is dodging the enemy attacks at the perfect time to activate Witch Time, where the enemy slows down and you can just attack it for mad damage. And some might be turned off from the overtly sexual nature of Bayonetta, but if I'm being honest, that don't bother me at all. The game is still mad fun. If you play this strictly for gameplay, I promise you're gonna love this game. And Bayonetta is one of those game series that has some amazing and fun boss fights, and there are a lot of bosses to fight in this game. An amazing follow-up to its prequel and fun, fast-paced, action-based gameplay is what lands Bayonetta at the number 6 spot. And with all that said and done, let's go on to number 5. Kicking off the top 5, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's a reason why this game is the best-selling Nintendo Switch game of all time. Mario Kart is probably the most beloved Mario spin-off series, and Nintendo really went all out with this game right here. Nintendo made so many amazing and memorable racetracks in this games, along with bringing back old ones and giving them a fresh coat of paint. You got tracks like this one right here, Electrodrome. You got Cloud Top Cruise. There's Toad Harbor. You got Sunshine Airport. This track is so beautiful right here. Like honestly, what more could I possibly say about this track right here? And you got Shy Guy Falls, which is my favorite track in this game. Just look at it, you're riding up a waterfall. And don't even get me started on the Booster Course Pass. Nintendo really cooked with this. With the Booster Course Pass came tracks both new and old. They literally brought back Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii. This track right here is considered by many to be the best track in any Mario Kart game. And for good reason too. Mario Kart Wii was one of my favorite games to play as a kid, so seeing one of the best tracks from that game brought back in a new era, it put a smile on my face. And this game introduced 200cc. Just look at that description right there. Crazy fast, braking is crucial. Most of the people who play Mario Kart 8 don't use the brakes. But if you're gonna play 200cc, you're gonna learn how to use them brakes. But back to the Booster Course Pass. You got Choco Mountain from Mario Kart 64. You got new tracks like Ninja Hideaway, Calamari Desert, and Waluigi Pinball. You got Move You Highway, Daisy Cruiser, Squeaky Clean Sprint. This game does an amazing job of catering to both veterans of Mario Kart and new Mario Kart players. If you've never played Mario Kart before, then I highly recommend playing this game. It's great for online and local co-op. There's nothing more satisfying than racing against your friends and just throwing a bunch of items at them while they're in first place, just hitting them with a blue shell. If you know, then you know. I'm getting very passionate and excited about this because words cannot describe how much I love Mario Kart. When I first started playing Mario Kart, it looked like this. And look at it now. The Mario Kart series has really came a long way, and playing this game was a wonderful experience, and it makes me all the more excited to play Mario Kart World. Now with that all said and done, let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we got Super Mario Odyssey. Now fun fact, when I first got my Switch back in 2018, the first games I got were this and Mario Kart 8. Nintendo dropped another amazing entry in the series of 3D Mario platformers. One thing I like about this game is the world building, which is a feature of Mario games I feel like not a lot of people talk about. Throughout this game, you're going to be visiting some amazing, well-designed and memorable worlds, or kingdoms as they're called. Throughout the years of Mario games, Mario has had numerous allies, such as Flood from Super Mario Sunshine. This game introduces a new ally for Mario named Cappy. With the introduction of Cappy, introduces one of the best mechanics seen in a Mario game, that being cap possession. When throwing Cappy at an enemy, it allows Mario to take over its body, allowing it to use said enemy's abilities. And there's a lot of enemies in this game, so you can run wild with all the abilities that are available when it comes to cap possession. Like many other 3D Mario games, there's a main collectible, and the main collectible of this game are the moons. When it comes to the main collectibles of this game, some are required to advance the story and some are optional. So if you want to put hours into this game, then you can definitely collect the optional ones. And I cannot get over the art style and the graphics for this game. Mario games have really came a long way. And as for the music, what can I really say? It's a Mario game, and Mario games are known for having amazing music. Just listen to the song Jump Up Superstar and you'll thank me later. And I also want to talk about how good Mario controls in this game. Mario doesn't feel stiff to control, and I feel he moves very fluid in this game. And because of the mechanics in this game, you could do some crazy tech jumps and tricks. Whether these were intentional or not, these look kinda crazy. Just look at the one you're watching on screen right now. But I gotta talk about the highlight of this game for me, the Metro Kingdom. This right here is considered by many to be the best world in this game. For those of you who somehow can't tell or live under a rock, this world is based on New York City, and I was born and raised in New York City. You got locations like the New Donk City Hall, which is based on the Empire State Building. You can even see the Brooklyn Bridge in the background. Am I biased? Absolutely I am. This is a faithful recreation of the city that I was born and raised in. But there are plenty of worlds in this game that look amazing. Overall, this game was a great experience that I wish I could play for the first time again. This is not only a game for Mario fans, but for people who love 3D platformers in general. And with all that said and done, on to number 3. Fire Emblem Three Houses is one of those games that I did not think I was going to like as much as I did, and I can confidently say that this game right here is always going to be in my top 3 favorite Nintendo Switch games. I literally have almost 300 hours into this game. Prior to playing this game, I was not the biggest fan of tactical RPGs, and the most experience I had with Fire Emblem was from Smash Bros. And Fire Emblem 7 all the way back on Game Boy Advance, where I had no idea what I was doing in that game. One thing I like about this game are the themes and moral lessons behind it. Themes of the gray area between doing what's heroic and what's morally right, the consequences of war, doing what you know is morally right and stopping anybody that gets in your way no matter how evil it may look. Themes of losing yourself in an endless pursuit for revenge. And one thing I really like about this game is that no one is really evil or villainous. It's just a bunch of people who have the same goal but have different ways of achieving it. When I say this game has a lot of replayability to it, I really mean it. That's why I have almost 300 hours in it. Now to get into the story, you play as the main character whose canon name is Byleth. You're recruited into the Garrick Mach Monastery as a teacher where you teach students how to prepare for war and battle. Now when you start the game, you're given a choice between 3 houses. There's the Black Eagles led by Edelgard, my favorite house the Blue Lions led by Dimitri, and the Golden Dawn led by Claude. There's also the Ashen Wolves house, and these characters are DLC, and yeah, they were cool, but I didn't really care for them like that. Gameplay wise, it's a tactical RPG where you switch between the player phase and the enemy phase and the ally phase, and every character specializes in various weapons and magic, though it's recommended that you don't put some weapons or magic on certain characters. Take someone like Dedu for example. He's proficient with axes, lances, and swords, but is very weak with magic. One thing I like about this game is that even if you pick a house, you can recruit students from other houses. And one of my favorite aspects of this game are support conversations. Support conversations are scenarios you can unlock where Byleth can forge bonds with other party members. And there are a lot of support conversations. When I say there's a lot, there are a lot, because there's a lot of characters in this game. And speaking of the characters, I don't think I've played a game that has as many likable characters as this one. You got my favorite character in the whole game, Sylvain. There's Shamir, Mercedes, Annette, Ash, Claude, Edelgard, Dimitri, Raphael. You got Lysithea, who is probably the most broken character in this game. If you know, then you know. You could literally mix and match different party members in this game, thus leading to its replayability. And one thing I like about this game is that time is of the essence when it comes to raising your supports, raising your proficiency with certain weapons and skills. Think of how in Persona 5 you're given limited time to raise your confidence or raise your social stats. The game does have a time skip, a 5-year time skip to be exact, and the time skip is probably the highlight of this game for me. Depending on the house you pick, you will get a different ending in this game. If you're a fan of romance options when it comes to games, then this is the game for you. There's a lot of details and a lot of things I'm leaving out when it comes to this game because I don't want this video to be longer than it already is. If you're a fan of tactical RPGs, then I cannot recommend this game enough. And with all that said and done, we're gonna move on to number 2. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was already a great game as is, and Nintendo managed to make an amazing sequel to it. That being The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This game managed to do what a sequel is supposed to do. Take the foundations of this prequel and build upon it, improve upon it, and make it even better. Breath of the Wild managed to introduce an open world style of gameplay to the Zelda series, and there's even more to explore and even more to do in this game compared to its prequel. In Breath of the Wild, I wasn't the biggest fan of the dungeons, but when it comes to the dungeons in this game, Nintendo really went all out. Tears of the Kingdom managed to introduce new gameplay mechanics without straying too far from Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom still has the shrines from Breath of the Wild, and you can also explore the skies within this game. I've seen people say the sky area in this game is bland, Though that may be a fair opinion, it is a welcome addition because it gives more to explore and more to do. Tears of the Kingdom introduces new gameplay elements, one of those being fusing items to your weapons as you see on screen right now. Doing this gives your weapons extra damage. You got Ascend, which allows you to jump upwards and pass through solid objects. There's the Ultra Hand, which allows you to manipulate and control objects from a distance. And then you got Ultra Hand, which allows you to manipulate time and place objects back to where they once were. In this game, you could fuse various objects together to create certain structures. And if y'all see the structures people have made in this game, y'all will be impressed with how active people's imaginations are, how much time they have on their hands. Because I've seen some amazing structures in this game. I'm about to show y'all one real quick. Yeah, exactly. The downside to this game is that it didn't get DLC like Breath of the Wild did, but that doesn't change the fact that you're going to be spending hours, and I mean hours, playing this game, especially if you're going to 100% it, because there's a lot to explore. I almost forgot to talk about the depths, which is a new area to this game. Initially, it starts off very dark and is hard to navigate, but you find these things called light routes which light the area up. If you like The Legend of Zelda, if you like open world games, or if you like games where you can put hours into it, then this is the game for you. Now with all that said and done, we're moving on to the #1 spot. This may or may not be a surprise to some people, but yes, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is my favorite Nintendo Switch game of all time. I've played every single Super Smash Bros. Game except for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, and Super Smash Bros. Has came a long way from humble beginnings all the way back on N64. There's a reason why the name of this game has Ultimate in it. 89 characters, 103 stages, and 1,068 songs. When the trailer for the game first released, it was given the slogan "Everyone is here," meaning characters who weren't in previous Smash Bros. Games were brought back in Smash Ultimate. This trailer that you're watching right here has over 3 million views on YouTube. The internet absolutely lost its mind when this trailer first dropped, myself included. Not only did this game manage to bring back every single Smash Bros. Character, it introduced some new ones too. They brought in characters such as Ridley, a character people have been wanting in Smash Bros. For mad long, King K. Rool, Inkling, and Ken from Street Fighter. And please do not get me started on the DLC characters for this game. For starters, we had Joker, the main character from Persona 5, as the first DLC character. Prior to this game, I never even heard of Persona or played it. Bro, this game got Kazuya from Tekken. It does not get any better than this. And you got my guy Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Sephiroth may have not been my pick for a DLC character, but this right here was my favorite character trailer. And you got Steve from Minecraft. You also got Banjo and Kazooie. These are characters people have been wanting in Smash Bros. For literal years at this point. The hype of these character trailers was something you just had to be there to experience. There was nothing better than waking up one day for the newest Smash Bros. Direct and seeing the character you wanted to make into the game actually make it into the game. Or what about when Sora was revealed as the final DLC character for this game? I feel bad for everybody who missed out on this. Kingdom Hearts fans were really eating good with this trailer right here. As someone who's a fan of Kingdom Hearts, this is a moment right here that I could never ever forget, no matter how hard I tried. Myself and many other people wanted Sora in Smash Bros, but I didn't think it was possible. And what better character to have as the final DLC character for Smash Bros than the #1 character people have been wanting in this game series. This trailer absolutely broke the internet right here. People were bouncing off the walls, losing their minds in the best way possible. From a gameplay perspective, what can I possibly say? The game controls perfectly. You can have up to 8 people fighting at the same time. You can just have pure chaos with a bunch of items, just whatever rules you want, any stage you want. Whether you're playing by yourself or online or couch co-op, this game is a fun time all around. This is a game where Solid Snake, Sonic the Hedgehog, Cloud, Kazuya, Ryu, Mario, and Pac-Man can all fight each other. Imagine me going back in time and telling somebody that all the characters I just mentioned were going to be in a crossover fighting game one day. I can sit here and proudly say that I'm a fan of Super Smash Bros. And I really can't wait to see what they got in store for the next one. That is, if they make a next one, because how do you do better than this? The one character I wanted to see in Super Smash Bros. Was Ratchet and Clank, and I'm still hoping that if they do make another Smash Bros. Game, that Ratchet and Clank will make it. This game is not only a celebration of Nintendo, but a celebration of gaming as a whole. Numerous gaming franchises making it into one game to be celebrated in the best ways imaginable. That's why this game is the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game, and one of the best forms of crossover media to ever do it. Now those are my top 10 favorite games for the Nintendo Switch. And with this list done, let's wrap this video up. It's no secret that the Switch is one of Nintendo's most successful, best-selling consoles. 15-20 years from now, I could see myself looking back on this console very fondly because of all the amazing games I played. I remember back in 2018 when I was 21 years old in college, I saved up enough money to buy myself a Nintendo Switch, and I spent hours, and I mean literal hours, playing it the first day I got it. I've been rocking with Nintendo since the days of the Nintendo 64, and to see such an amazing console really puts a smile on my face. Say what you will about the Switch 2. Yeah, it's not perfect, it has its flaws, and Nintendo made some questionable choices, but I plan on getting this console in the future. Though the Switch's life cycle is pretty much done, it's important to keep its legacy going. I tend to look back on all the Nintendo consoles that I grew up playing, like the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, and the Wii, and I look fondly back on them. And like I said, 20 years from now, I'm going to be fondly looking back on this console right here. There's a lot of Switch games I played and a lot I haven't played, which may come as a surprise to some people. Your list may be different from mine. But with that said, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow my socials in the description down below. I'm going to be off this. Y'all take care, have a good one, and I'm going to see y'all for whatever video I upload next. When I'm going to upload it? Yeah, I don't know. But I'll see y'all then. Take care.